Hello and welcome to a demonstration of the SnapSense web application developed by Team BlueJ. We've already shared a deployed version of this application with the client, so they've had a chance to review it and they've been quite happy with what they've seen. So we'll go over the application now in this demonstration. So here we have the landing page. We'll quickly show that we have made considerations for mobile devices so that the application scales properly. You can see here the nav bar and things like that. This has been something that the client asked for specifically for the image uploading page, which we'll get onto later. So here's the home page. We'll now look at the about page, which just has some information about SnapSense. And then we have a feedback page where you can share feedback. So, for example, if we write, "This is an amazing application," and submit that, it will give us a little pop-up telling us that our feedback has gone through. All right, so now let's look at the login page. Here we can choose which account type we're going to be logging in as. More detail about these different account types can be found in the developer guide, in the report, and even in the README for this project. But we'll start off with the highest level account, which is the SnapSense Super Admin. So the login for that can be found in the README as well. So now we're logged in as a Super Admin, and we can visit our dashboard. You'll see that the nav bar on the homepage has changed. So we can go here and we can, we're shown quickly at all of our hospitals, but we can go to create hospitals, view admins, and so on. So what we'll start off is by, and we can submit that. And this will actually send an email to the contact email that you've assigned. We can then view the hospital, and we can view all the other hospitals we have as well. And for example, we can view this one, and we can view the one that we just created as well. We can view all the admins that we control as well, but for this case we'll make a new admin for the hospital. So we can click here. We can also delete the hospital, and this will cause a cascading effect to delete the appropriate admins as well. So here we can now create an admin for the hospital. Obviously these are all validated, and we can submit that, and now the admin has been created. So now if we go to view admins, we can see the information here with the appropriate email and hospital name. And we can view that admin's page, we can delete their account, and so on. You can also view the feedback that you've received, and you can sort these different tables. You'll see here at the bottom the review that we just gave at the start. So that shows up here, and we can even view that feedback in more detail. We'll also have a look at this profile page. So this profile page is very similar to the one that every user type has. So we'll just really show it here once. Basically, you can change your password by entering your new password in twice, and you can also delete your account by entering your current password twice, and all of these are also validated. We will now log in as an admin that we created before because it's already seeded with the data that we need. So once we log in, it again updates the nav bar, and we can access our dashboard. The dashboard for the admin is very straightforward. They can essentially just invite doctors, and they can view the doctors that are in the same hospital as they are. So here we can view the list of all of our doctors, and we can invite a new doctor as well. And now we'll send an invite. It takes a second because it's actually sending an email to the user. We don't actually have access to an NHS email, and we can only create doctors that have an NHS email because that's what the client has asked for. So instead, we're going to be using the link provided to access the invite. So here we've opened up the invite, and we can see who sent us the invite, and we can enter the details to log in, and we can accept the invite. And it tells us that we have created an account and we've accepted the invitation, and it then takes us back to the login page. We could have, of course, tried to open this invite link, but this time it will say that you already have an account, that the invite has now expired, basically. We will now log in as a doctor. So again, we see that the nav bar changes, and we can access our dashboard. The doctor has many different features, and we'll start off by inviting a patient, and we'll send the invite. And this will actually send an email out. So if we look at the temporary email, you'll see that we've received an email, and we can open this up, and we can click on this accept invitation button. And here we can now enter our details, and we can accept the invite. It says our account has been created, and we've accepted the invitation, and then we can now log in that account. This invitation system is very similar to the invitation system that the doctor and admin might go through. If the patient already has an account, they'll receive a different page asking them to log in and then just accept the invite. and it will tell them who sent them the invite, and then they're given the option to accept or decline the invite. So in this case, if we accept the invitation, and now that we've logged in, we can see that the doctor who invited us is now on our account. As a doctor, we can view all the patients that we have, and we can view their profiles, and we can also make requests for them to make a submission. So in this case, we'll go to our first patient and we'll request for them to make a submission. There are two types of requests. One is a single request and one is a scheduled request. A scheduled request is a reoccurring one where they'll be sent emails every couple of weeks to remind them. So you can set how many days and how many times you want this repeated request to occur. In this case, we're going to set a single request, and we can choose to make it an image, a questionnaire, or both. We'll set the deadline for this one to be the 15th, and we can submit that. And now we've sent a request for patient 1 to make a submission. If we go on to the patient's page, we can see that they have one request to fulfill. If we then click on view my requests, they can see that they have a request here which they haven't fulfilled, and it's asking for them to upload an image and a questionnaire. So what they can do now is they can click on create my submission. So here we can create a new submission and we can upload multiple images. So if we click here, we can upload a random image, and I'll upload another one here. So we've now got 2 images. We can then go to the questionnaire tab and fill in the questionnaire. So this is really bad. And, you can just answer all these questions. At the end, we can review all of our answers and click submit. If we then go to view our request, we'll see that the submission has now been fulfilled. On the doctor's account, they see that they have one request to review. So this is because they requested a submission and the patient has now fulfilled it. They also have 2 submissions to review in general, and this is just because the patient may have made submissions that were not related to a particular request, but the client asked for that to be an additional feature included. So here we can click on view my requests, and we can see that that submission has now been fulfilled. We can click this button to view that submission in detail, and we can go to the next and previous to see all the images. We can also click on these images to enlarge them. We can then go through the questionnaire answers here, and we can make a rating here. But instead what we'll do is we'll go and review my patients. So here we can see the request again in detail, and we can make a review. We also have the SnapSense AI rating, which is just mock data for now that the client asked for, but in the future this could be extended to use an actual API to return the correct prediction. So here we can make a estimation. So in this case, let's say that this is a medium risk, and we can review the submission, and it says that the submission has now been reviewed, and we can just press OK. It's then removed from the page because we're using cache to update the page automatically. We can then go to unreviewed submissions, and we can see another submission. So this one was not associated with the request, it was just a submission that patient 2 made, and we can just say that this is high risk or something, and then we can review that, and now it's gone from here as well. The client asked for some other specific pages. So for example, here we have a page that shows all the submissions that all of this doctor's patients have made. So we can see them all here, and we can open any specific submission, or we can enable the timeline view, which the client asked for. So this custom view shows the submissions in order of the time that they were made, and we can just view all the different submissions, who made the submission, the questionnaire associated with them, and so on. And we can then click on any of them to request another submission from that patient, to view that submission, or to submit a different review. So we can change the rating for any of these, like this one. When viewing your patients, you can go on any specific patient's profile, and you click on view patient. Here you can then view a table of only that specific patient's submissions, as well as other personal details about them. And again, you can toggle the timeline view here as well, and you can view that particular submission. We'll now explore the additional features that the patient has. So on their homepage, they can quickly click on a button to make a new submission. They can view all the requests that they have pending. They can then view all of their personal submissions, again with the option to view any particular one in more detail, or they can toggle the timeline view to have access to that as well. You'll see that this is similar to the components that the doctor has, and this is because we're reusing components throughout the application. Again, we can create a submission. You can view all the pending requests, and you can click on any of them to view the submission if you've made one. And you can view the submission here. You can then view all the doctors that you're assigned to, and you even have the option to export these details, and so does the doctor for all the different tables that they have access to. And finally, again, you can view your own profile. You can see your submissions, your timeline. This is similar to what a doctor would see, but obviously as a patient, you also have the option to change your own password and delete your account. So thank you for watching that demonstration of our application. Just as a final note, these are our tests. So we have over 300 backend tests which all pass, and we have over 400 front-end tests which also all pass.